Lieutenant General Bogdan, thanks for your time. How disappointing is the grounding of the F-35s, and what impact do you think it will have on confidence for the partners who are buying it?
Well, the grounding of the airplanes was done for precautionary reasons. We found a small crack in one of the turbine fan blades of an engine during our routine inspection of that airplane, and we decided to not fly the fleet until we find out what the root cause of that crack was. In any development program, much like this program, you are going to find things wrong with the airplane. That's why you do flight tests. That's why you have a span of time in there to fix things. So this is not abnormal to find something like this wrong with an airplane. Every airplane that's been developed over the last 50, 100 years has found things wrong. The crack that we found, again, we are grateful that we found it during a ground inspection and that we didn't take that airplane up in the air, because that could have been a problem for the engine and, more importantly, the safety of our pilot. So we're grateful for that. We will know by the end of the week what the cause of that crack was. And I would tell you that based on what the root cause of that crack was, we could potentially be flying the airplane as early as next week if it wasn't severe. I do not see this as making a huge impact at all in the schedule of the program. And I've talked to all of our partners, I've talked to all the services. They understand the circumstances. And while it's disappointing to have to ground the fleet, we did that for precautionary measures, and I believe we'll get through this.
Have any of the governments, any of the partners who have made orders for the Joint Strike Fighter, including the Australian government, given you any indication that they may be running out of patience with the program?
I would tell you that our partners, as well as the services, have had a lot of patience on this program up until this point, because it has had a turbulent past. What I will tell you is they are all fully committed to the program. They, like I, am disappointed that it has taken many more years and cost many billions more dollars to get where we are today. But I can tell you the commitment of staying on the program for all 8 of our partners and our FMS customers is still strong. No one is intending on leaving the program. They, just like me, are disappointed at how long it has taken to get here.
Okay, let's talk about cost. When Australia signed up, it was around $40 million per aircraft. The latest figure we've seen is $120 or $130 million. Where do you think it will end? How much will each aircraft cost to Australia?
So the first point there is the $40 million price tag was in 2001 dollars. So you have to escalate those dollars out to 2019, when the Australians are going to get their first large buy of airplanes. So that number is a little bit misleading, but we'll push that aside for now. The last lot of airplanes that I negotiated with Lockheed Martin, the airframe cost $105 million, and the engine from Pratt & Whitney cost about $14 million. So the total price of an LRIP, a Lot 5 airplane, is about $119 million. What I can tell you is, since the first production lot of airplanes until the 5th lot, which I just negotiated, the price has come down 50%. And I can tell you, and I can pretty much guarantee, that Lot 6 will be cheaper than Lot 5, Lot 7 will be cheaper than Lot 6, Lot 8 will be cheaper than Lot 7, and we will go down that price curve such that in the 2019-2020 timeframe, we will be around an $80 million airplane.
General Bogdan, from your experience, in your opinion, is the F-35 the right aircraft for the Royal Australian Air Force?
I really cannot answer whether it's the right aircraft for the Australian Air Force. What I can tell you, though, is that this airplane is going to be the most survivable airplane on the face of the earth for the next 20+ years. And it is a multi-role airplane that can do many, many things in many, many different areas with many different kinds of threats. And for that reason alone, it will be a formidable warfighting machine. And if the Australian Air Force and the Australians see its true capability and we can deliver what we promise, then I think it would be a great addition for them.
Given the delays to the Joint Strike Fighter program, given how close our 2 countries are, do you think that the American government should give Australia access to the US Raptor?
Oh boy, that's a speculative question. I know for sure that the F-22 was generally not designed or intended ever to be exported, and that is a decision to be made far above my level. so I won't even speculate as to that. What I will tell you is the F-35 is a formidable airplane, and in a lot of realms does many, many things that an F-22 can't do.
What about the lessons that your government and the Australian government will learn from the development of the Joint Strike Fighter? Do you think that perhaps in terms of risk in future, the aircraft manufacturers will take on more risk than the taxpayers?
What I'll tell you about that is, and I won't speculate as to what our partners should or shouldn't do, is I think whenever you start a development program that is technically complex, you need to balance the risk among both industry and the government. I personally believe that on this program, most of the risk early on in this program was put at the feet and on the shoulders of the government and the partners. We have begun to change that now, and I think that in the future, moving forward, I know if I were in charge of starting a program, I would look to balance that risk across industry and the government.
General Bogdan, thanks for talking to us.